talking about now directive play therapy. And so remember, child-centered play therapy is non-directive. There's no diagnoses. The child is in the lead. And we use all those techniques that Dr. Landreth talked about. So when we think about directive play therapy, we're looking for a specific goal or diagnosis, and we're addressing that specific goal therapeutically. And so generally for most play therapists, unless they're completely child-centered, we usually begin with 1 or 2 sessions of child-centered play therapy to develop rapport and to let the child tell their story, and then we move to some directive sessions and then return to non-directive. So the directive sessions are useful to us because often the parent needs some goals, and they need to be able to see that we're working proactively on those goals. Additionally, sometimes when we're working on a specific thing, we really need to move things along a little quicker. Child-centered play therapy is 16 to 20 weeks. Now, insurance dictates that we generally don't have that amount of time, and so that's why we put in the directive part. And so let's kind of talk about some things that you could do. You received some handouts about art-informed directive therapy, and I want to look at how we're going to use some of those. So this is that glitter bottle or calming bottle we made with a Voss water bottle. And we use this one because it's flat on the top, and you can see the glitter really easily. This is a glass one, which I would not recommend. Here's a plastic one, a little bit smaller, which would be better because this is going to take a lot of supplies. So we used clear glue and glitter. This one has some stars in it as well. And the amount of glue that you put in it determines how fast or how slow that bottle is going to go. This is a great first session directive activity, or even if you're not sure how the child's going to respond to child-centered play therapy, we always have this prepared for our very first session because they get to take something home. They're very excited, and we can use this for lots and lots of things. So let's talk about what we could do with this. So we could use it as a calming bottle. So if a child has anxiety, they have trauma, we could say, so when you begin to feel anxious, shake this up and watch that glitter fall and say, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm taken care of, whatever the positive statement is, or watch it fall and take deep breaths, right? Those good abdominal breaths. So we could also use it as a timer. And so if the child has a meltdown or something happens, then we could say, so have the parent direct the child to go to your calm place and shake the bottle up and stay there until it falls completely, till it stops moving, and think about what's going on. Try to think about something that you could do better. So we could use it as a time in. We don't use time out, but time in for children with trauma, we keep them closer to the parent. And so again, we could use it to say, so I'd like you to stay here until the glitter stops to fall, and think about what could you do better next time. So lots of different uses for this. ADHD kids, if they're having difficulty focusing, sometimes in helping them with school, they could try to do their spelling words while they're watching the glitter. They could memorize things, and so really helpful for them as well to have some kind of manipulative. So you also had a Find It bottle. And so the Find It bottle is the one, as you recall, that has the colored rice, and in that bottle we can have the child put letters of their name so they could spell their name. We could have them put things that they like, and so again, it could be something that's just developing rapport between you and the child, but also for that ADHD child or that anxious child, it gives them something to do when they're anxious or when they need to focus. And so we could use it for grief as well. So maybe in their rice bottle, they could put items that represent the person that they've lost. And it's good before they put the things in the bottle, we want to take a picture of all the things they put in, and we can glue that picture to the top of the bottle, so then it could become a competition. How quickly can you find 3 things? How quickly can you find all the things, right? So we could use it as a coping mechanism for anxiety. Let's put some things in your Find It bottle that are things that help you be calm. And so then we can go to those skills. So something else we talked about in directive art-informed therapy is making a stress ball. And so with the stress ball, we're going to use Play-Doh and a balloon, and we're just going to roll the Play-Doh into small bits, right? kind of like a little snake, and stuff it into the open mouth of the balloon. And so you need quite a bit of Play-Doh, usually one big can. And so this is a stress ball for the child. We can use it as a toolkit for the sensory seeking child at school. We can use it for the ADHD child at school to help them have something to do with their hands. We could use it for an anxious child to help them calm down. So a lot of uses for that. While they're making it in session, then we could talk about, like, so if we're working on anxiety, which is one of the top 3 common diagnoses with children, what are some things that that make you anxious or make you feel kind of out of sorts? And what things do you do that help you feel better? And so we can make a list of those things. So we're just talking with the child, or we could develop rapport. What are your 3 favorite things to do, right? What are your least favorite foods? And so lots of different things like that we could do. So we can also think about using puppets in directive play therapy. And so here are 2 kind of aggressive puppets. So here's the alligator and the dragon. So I don't have to use them as aggressors. I could use them in any way, but I could have the child pick which one they want to be. I could be the other puppet, and we could role play, right? So I'd like you to role play a time when things went really bad at home. So I'm going to be you. You tell me what to do, and you be your mom or dad. Now, I wonder, what could my dragon puppet do better? And role play it again. Or I could do maybe talking about grief. You know, my dragon just lost his grandma, and he's very, very sad. I wonder if the alligator could give him some help. Alligator, what could he do to make himself feel better, right? And so there are lots of things we could do with the puppets. We could role play wrong way, right way. So the dragon went to school, and he really wanted to talk to his friend. So this is an ADHD client, right? And so he said, hey, I want to tell you about my day. And he just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. What's the alligator going to do? Oh, he doesn't want to listen. He may run away. What could the dragon do better? He could give him some space. He could ask a question about the alligator, right? So lots of things we could do. So again, directive play therapy has a specific goal in mind. We take activities and we direct them towards the diagnoses. But we work on the micro skills of that diagnosis. So if we're working with ADHD, we work on impulse control, or we work on distractibility, right? If we're working on anxiety, we work on calming techniques and mindfulness techniques. If we're working on anger, we work on what are some ways that are positive that we could express our anger. What are some negative ways that we express our anger? So I hope this has been helpful to you as far as thinking about directive therapy. If you look online at the American Association of Play Therapy, you'll see lots and lots and lots of other ideas.